Princess and the Dragon by Audrey.
Once there was a princess who didn't behave like a princess.
Na, 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 na.
The king and queen were shocked by her frightful table manners.
Slurp. Slurp.
Her tangled hair and ragged clothes made her nanny cry.
Don't touch me. I'm perfect.
The cook, try as he might, could never serve a meal the princess liked.
Spaghetti a la meatballs and chocolate peanut butter cake.
Throw it to the swine.
No one ever saw her smile, except when she played a mean trick on the old knight.
Eat up your nice worm.
All the mothers and fathers in the kingdom warned their children not to be like her.
Don't act like her.
She's a disgrace.
Never, never.
No, no, no!
Isn't she terrible?
One day, a dragon was seen moving into a cave in the mountain. The mothers and fathers were very frightened and ran to the king and queen for help.
It's green.
It's big.
It's hungry.
Help!
The king and queen were worried too. They knew that dragons like to kidnap princesses.
It's come for our little dear.
Oh, me. But most upset of all was the old knight, as it was his job to protect the royal child.
Oh, my.
This news gave the princess a mean idea. Wouldn't it be jolly to watch the old knight fight a dragon? She would let the monster capture her. That night, while everyone slept, the princess tiptoed out and made her way up to the terrible creature's cave. But inside, she found a dragon daintily playing a piano. The dragon was not at all what the princess expected. The dragon was equally surprised.
I'm the princess. Capture me.
I wouldn't dream of it.
The princess thought dragons were fierce, but this dragon wasn't fierce at all.
Don't dragons roar loudly, chase knights, and kidnap princesses?
The others do. I don't like to.
The dragon thought princesses were gentle, but this princess wasn't gentle at all. Don't you take ballet, read good books, and wear lovely gowns?
Not me. I hate it.
The princess knew she could be a better dragon than the dragon.
I'd shake mountains with my roar.
The dragon knew it could be a better princess than the princess.
I'd study the violin.
Suddenly, they both had an idea.
I'll be the princess.
And I'll be the dragon.
They shook hands and agreed to change places that very night.
Get going, Greedy. This is my place now.
A tisket, a tasket, a green and yellow basket. A tisket, a tasket, a green and yellow basket.
And wasn't Nanny surprised the next morning? The dragon had put on a lovely blue gown. It curtsied sweetly and wanted some powder for its nose.
How lovely you look, princess.
Why, thank you, Nanny dear.
The king and queen were overjoyed at the change.
Good morning. Isn't it a lovely day? Please pass the butter.
How polite you are, princess.
What perfect manners, princess.
The cook nearly dropped the Eggs Benedict when the princess asked for more.
Simply divine. May I have seconds, please?
From that time on, life was much more pleasant.
Roar! Roar, roar, roar!
one really minded the dragon's mean pranks. No one, that is, except the knight, who had to rescue the princess whenever the dragon captured her.
After that dragon, Knight. Yeah!
The knight always ended up being captured. Afterwards, the princess and the dragon talked happily about their new lives.
When I roar, mountains shake.
I play violin with my eyes closed.
Now, all the mothers and fathers in the kingdom told their children to behave like the princess. And of course, they did their best. But when they couldn't, they knew just the place to go.
Boing.
Presto Change-o by Audrey Wood.
One summer afternoon, Matthew and his older sister Jessica were playing outside. Their mother was busy hanging laundry out to dry, while Matthew was waving his magic wand in the air, practicing for his own magic show.
Presto Change-o, zippity-zap! Magic flowers come out of my hat!
Jessica watched Matthew pull a bouquet of paper flowers out of his hat.
Matthew, just what do you think you're doing?
Rehearsing tricks for my magic show, Jessica.
A magic show. Now, why didn't I think of that? Tricks. How boring. I can do real magic.
And Jessica ran inside the house. In a few moments, she came back out, wearing her party dress with puffy sleeves. She was wearing a little crown and carrying her own magic wand.
Presenting the fantastic Queen of Magic. Watch and be amazed.
Go away, Jessica. This is my show.
I'm the best magician.
You are not.
Oh, yes, I am.
Jessica's mother heard what was going on and stopped hanging sheets on the clothesline.
Children, please stop arguing. Your magic will be better if you work together.
But Jessica didn't pay attention to her mother.
So there, Matthew. First, I'll do Chinese rings.
That's not real magic.
Real magic?
Jessica tossed down the rings.
I knew you were just bragging.
Oh, yeah? See this magic powder? Presto Change-o, jiggle-dee-jog. I'll turn a human into a frog.
Matthew hid under his cape, and when he and Jessica looked around a moment later, they heard croak, a little croak from their mother's laundry basket.
Croak!
Where's Mother? Look! There's a frog in her basket!
Said Jessica, pointing her wand at the frog. Then she looked everywhere for her mother, but her mother was nowhere to be found.
Jessica, I think you made a big mistake.
Just then, it thundered. The sky was getting dark. It was about to rain.
You changed Mother into a frog instead of me. Well, don't just stand there. Change her back.
Presto Change-o, frog to Mother!
Jessica threw her magic powder everywhere and shouted as loud as she could. But the frog just turned lazily toward a buzzing fly and snapped it up with its tongue.
Ugh, Mother ate a fly.
It's all right, Mother. That's what frogs do.
Matthew grabbed his wand.
I'll try my magic. Yours is nothing but trouble.
Zippity-zap, 1, 2, 3, Mother's back!
Matthew waved his wand over the frog's head, but it had begun to rain, and the slippery frog jumped out of Jessica's hands and landed on the top of the fence.
Catch her! She's escaping!
Mother, come down here this minute.
But the frog jumped off the fence and hopped down the sidewalk.
Stop! You'll get lost in the rain.
Hurry! She's jumping into the woods!
Matthew and Jessica ran into the woods after the frog, but the woods were dark and very scary. The trees began to look like they had long faces, and the rain blew, and it thundered all around them. Soon they came to a stream. They looked around, up and down, when suddenly Matthew pointed with his wand.
Look, there she is!
Jessica and Matthew jumped into the stream after the frog. Splish, splash, splot! But now, there were dozens of frogs everywhere. In the water, on the bank, in the trees. Matthew looked around at all the frogs and began to cry.
Now we'll never find her. She was such a good mother.
Even when she was a frog.
This wouldn't have happened if only we had worked together like Mother said.
Suddenly, the rain stopped, and Matthew and Jessica opened their eyes. They looked at each other and called out,
Together! That's it! Zippity-zap, jiggly-jog, now our mother's not a frog!
As Matthew and Jessica held hands and touched their wands together, they heard a voice from behind the bushes.
Children, where in the world did you disappear to? I've been looking everywhere.
Matthew and Jessica hugged their mother. They had never been so happy to see her. A beautiful rainbow appeared in the sky over their heads. They grabbed their mother's hands and ran towards home.
Let's hurry!
Our magic has just begun.
Jessica and Matthew started to work immediately. They hung bedspreads on the clothesline for curtains. They got magic doves and rabbits. They blew up hundreds of balloons. And everyone in the neighborhood came to see Matthew and Jessica's magic show.
Presto Change-o, sharing's fun!
Scaredy Cats by Audrey Wood.
One busy morning, Mother Cat sat down and wrote a letter. When she finished, she had a problem.
Meow. Oh, fish sticks out of stamps. Someone must go to the post office.
Mother Cat called her 7 children. Which 2 would go to town and mail the letter?
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Which of you will get to go?
He will pick us this time.
I know.
Everyone wanted to go. Finally, Mother Cat chose her 2 eldest kittens.
Y-O-U. I choose you and you.
Her youngest kittens were very sad. They had never been to town without Mother Cat. Why couldn't they have a chance?
Boo-hoo, boo-hoo. You never pick us, Mother.
Let us go this time.
How the older kittens laughed. Send the babies to town? Even shadows scared them. They would never make it.
Scaredy cat, can't even catch a rat. Ha, 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 ha. I'm not scared. Neither am I.
But Mother Cat was fair. She knew the little kittens were right. It was their turn after all. Mother Cat gave the letter to her youngest yellow kitten and a coin to her youngest blue kitten.
Now go straight to the post office, buy a stamp, and mail this very important letter.
Proud and puffed up, the happy kittens started on their way to town.
The cat caught the rat, the cat caught the rat. Hi-ho, the dairy-o, the cat caught the rat.
The road ahead seemed to go on and on forever. Each step took the kittens farther and farther away from home. Suddenly, Yellow Kitten began to wonder and worry about scary things.
What if something bad happens? What if you lose Mother's coin? That would be bad.
What if I sneeze?
Blue Kitten agreed.
Achoo! And the coin jumps out of my paw.
And it starts rolling away.
Yellow Kitten added.
Faster and faster and faster. Come back, coin.
I'm not the gingerbread man, but I can roll as fast as he ran.
And then it hides.
Blue Kitten said.
And we cannot find it.
Coin, where are you?
Here, coin.
But the Scaredy Cats did not turn back. They walked on down the road to town. Before long, the kittens came to the bridge. Suddenly, Blue Kitten began to wonder and worry about scary things.
What if something awful happens when we cross over? What if someone steals Mother's coin? How awful!
What if a giant troll cat jumps up out of the water?
Yellow Kitten agreed.
Growling and yowling at us.
And he grabs us and shakes us
Blue Kitten added.
and wants to eat us up.
I'm going to eat you for my snack.
And he sees the coin shining in our paws
Yellow Kitten said.
and takes it from us.
The Scaredy Cats thought about turning back, but they kept on going. On the other side of the bridge, the kittens tiptoed into the forest. Suddenly, Yellow Kitten began to wonder and worry about scary things.
What if something dreadful happens? What if I lose Mother's letter? How dreadful.
What if a howling wind comes along
Blue Kitten agreed.
and rips the letter out of your paws?
And the wind throws the letter down into the leaves.
Yellow Kitten added.
And we look and look for it until we are gray and whiskered,
Blue Kitten said.
but never find it. My whiskers, we're bound to find it soon.
Yeah,
Even though the Scaredy Cats wanted to go back home, they kept on walking through the forest. Soon they came to the long, dark tunnel. Suddenly, Blue Kitten began to wonder and worry about scary things.
What if something terrible happens? What if someone steals Mother's letter? How terrible!
what if cat bandits are inside waiting for us?
Yellow Kitten agreed.
Here they come.
What if they have claws like knives
Blue Kitten added.
and red gleaming cat eyes?
And they surround us
Yellow Kitten said.
and tie us up with ropes and leave us shivering in the dark, cold tunnel.
I'm cold.
Me too.
Still, the Scaredy Cats kept on going, through the tunnel and out the other side. There they found the nettle field. The kittens walked on through the tall weeds. Suddenly, Yellow Kitten began to wonder and worry about scary things.
What if something woeful happens? What if we get lost? How woeful.
What if an evil cat witch casts a spell
Blue Kitten agreed.
and turns the whole world into nettle fields?
Abracat
abracadabra. Grow, nettles, grow!
And all the cats in towns are lost and hidden in the nettles.
Yellow Kitten added.
Goosey, goosey gander, whither dost thou wander?
Help! Help! And we never find the post office.
The Scaredy Cats wished they could go back home, but they walked on through the nettles until they came to the high, rocky ledge. Suddenly, Blue Kitten began to wonder and worry about scary things.
What if something hideous happens? What if someone steals us? How hideous!
What if a great screeching bird snatches us?
Yellow Kitten agreed.
And takes us to its nest, high on a mountaintop.
Blue Kitten added.
And
Yellow Kitten said,
we have to feed and care for its ugly babies.
Even now, the Scaredy Cats kept on going. They did not turn back.
Watch your step.
Follow my tail.
Hooray! At the bottom of the ledge, the kittens came into town, and the post office was not hard to find.
Look, there it is.
Let's go!
But when they ran up to the door, a truly bad and awful and dreadful and terrible and woeful and hideous thing happened. The post office was closed for the day.
Oh, no!
It's not even open.
Now Mother's coin could not buy a stamp. Mother's letter could not be mailed. How could the kittens go home without finishing their job? Just then, the kittens had a wonderful surprise. A bus drove up and Grandmother Cat stepped out.
Wow! Look who's here.
No one knew she was coming to Catville.
Grandmother, do we have problems?
The kittens told her about Mother's very important letter and about the scary things.
We carried Mother's coin and letter.
Troll cat and wind and bandits and nettles and birds.
When Grandmother Cat looked at the letter, it was her turn to be surprised. The letter was for her. She opened it and read out loud.
Dear Grandmother Cat, why don't you come for a visit? The kittens miss you. Sincerely, Mother Cat.
Before they left Catville, Grandmother Cat took the kittens to the ice cream parlor. She treated them all to fishberry cones. At last, the kittens started for home, with Grandmother Cat following close behind.
Which way are the bandits? Show me that old troll cat. You say there's a witch up ahead? Follow us, Grandmother.
We know the way.
On the way, they wondered and worried about scary things, but not very much. Tooth Fairy by Audrey Wood.
It was bedtime at Matthew and Jessica's house. The lights were out and all was quiet. Matthew and his older sister Jessica were lying in their beds, snuggled next to their teddy bears. Just as Jessica was about to drift off to sleep, suddenly Matthew startled the house.
Mother, come quick! I pulled a tooth!
Jessica sat up in her bed and looked at the shiny white tooth that Matthew was holding up. It was the very first tooth that he had ever lost, and in the moonlight of the room, it looked like a little star. After a moment, their mother came in, buttoning her bathrobe. She sat at the side of Matthew's bed.
Matthew, dear, how wonderful.
Tell me about the Tooth Fairy again, please.
Jessica knew all about the Tooth Fairy, but she was very jealous of Matthew. She stuck out her tongue at him.
Every night the Tooth Fairy flies about with her basket of goodies. Put your tooth under your pillow and she will swap it for some treasure.
Jessica covered her ears as her mother spoke, but Matthew imagined the beautiful Tooth Fairy flying through the air, scattering toys and treasures and fruit.
Good night, children. Sweet dreams.
She kissed Matthew and Jessica goodnight and left the room, but Jessica was cross.
It's not fair. I want treasure too.
Just then, Jessica hopped out of bed.
And I'm going to get some.
But Jessica, you know the Tooth Fairy can't swap for treasure unless you lose a tooth.
Don't worry about the Tooth Fairy. I'll show her who's boss.
Jessica marched out of the room and into the kitchen. She opened the refrigerator door and discovered some corn. Matthew followed her into the kitchen.
Aha! Just what I need. A kernel of corn. A little paint makes it look like a real tooth.
Jessica painted the little kernel of corn with her school paint set.
That should do the trick.
They both went to bed.
It won't work, Jessica.
Matthew hugged his bear, and Jessica smiled.
Nighty-night, Matthew.
They went to sleep. Sometime in the wee hours of the night, Jessica heard a little tinkling sound. Lights twinkled beside her pillow.
Jessica, wake up.
Jessica felt tingling all over. She looked around the room, and she saw that her little teddy bear was now much bigger than she was.
Oh, no! I've shrunk! Wake up, Matthew! You've shrunk, too!
Matthew was no bigger than a mouse.
Jessica, what have you done now?
Suddenly, a beautiful fairy with pink butterfly wings appeared above them in a shower of lights. She was holding 2 teeth.
Greetings, children. I'm the Tooth Fairy. Look what I found under your pillows.
Jessica thought to herself.
It worked. She thinks the corn is my tooth.
The Tooth Fairy came over to Matthew.
Why do you swap treasure for teeth?
I'll show you. Just hold my hands and I'll say the magic words. Loose tooth away.
Then, magically, they were standing in front of a wonderful palace.
Welcome to the Tooth Fairy's palace.
Magnificent towers and spires sparkled before them. Colored flags fluttered in the night sky, and dozens of little elves, all dressed in pink, greeted them, cheering and waving little yellow flags.
Bridges, walls, towers.
All made of teeth.
Matthew and Jessica saw a group of tooth elves busily at work.
Every night, we tooth elves build a little more.
The Tooth Fairy escorted them into a great gleaming room full of round tables with different children's names on them. A single white tooth sat on the top of each one.
This is the hall of perfect teeth. Only the cleanest and brightest go here.
And with that, she placed Matthew's shiny white tooth on the top of a round table with his name on it.
My perfect tooth.
I suppose my tooth goes here, too.
The Tooth Fairy looked down at the tooth that Jessica had made from the kernel of corn.
Come, Jessica. This one needs work. All dirty yellow teeth must go to the tooth dungeon.
The Tooth Fairy led Matthew and Jessica down a long, winding road into a vast cavern where hundreds of bright yellow robots were cleaning teeth.
We robot tooth cleaners boil them in the bubbling bath. Then we scrub them until they shine like stars.
Jessica swallowed hard. Then one of the robots took Jessica's tooth from the Tooth Fairy.
Now we will clean Jessica's tooth.
And he dropped the tooth into the bubbling bath. Suddenly, a siren went off.
Your tooth is a fake. We must put you in jail.
The Tooth Fairy grabbed Matthew and Jessica by the hand as the robots started marching towards them.
Hurry, children! The robots don't like tricks.
Jessica and Matthew ran as fast as they could. The fairy threw them a rope to climb to safety.
Quick, you'll be safe here.
First, Matthew climbed up the rope. Then Jessica pulled herself up just in time to get away from the robots.
Now, up the slide. It's time for you to leave.
Now that they were safe inside the tower, Jessica began to cry.
I never should have done it. Cheer up, Jessica. I'm sure you'll lose a real tooth soon.
And you'll still swap me treasure?
Of course.
And you'll put my tooth in the Hall of Perfect Teeth like Matthew's?
I won't know until I see it. Goodbye, children. Say the magic words as you go down the slide.
Lose tooth away!
And around, down and down, Matthew and Jessica slid, right through the night sky, into their beds. They soon fell fast asleep.
Jessica, wake up. It's morning. The Tooth Fairy left me some treasure.
Sure enough, the Tooth Fairy had left Matthew an apple, a toy truck, a yo-yo, and a whistle. But nothing for Jessica.
Don't be sad. Here, have a bite of my apple.
Jessica took a bite of the red apple. Crunch. Then she suddenly smiled and pointed to one of her teeth.
Mother, come quick! I've got a loose tooth!
Jessica ran to the bathroom and began brushing her teeth with lots of toothpaste.
Shall I tell you about the Tooth Fairy again?
Jessica looked in the bathroom mirror and smiled.
You don't need to, Mother. I know all about it. This one is going to the Hall of Perfect Teeth.
Balloonia by Audrey. One evening, Jessica and her little brother Matthew were in their bedroom playing with two big balloons. Jessica was surprised when suddenly Matthew ran to the bedroom window, leaned out with his big red balloon, and looked up at the stars and the clouds. He let go of the string and let his balloon fly away.
Goodbye, balloon. Have a nice trip.
Just where do you think that balloon is going, Matthew?
To Balloonia land, Jessica, where balloons live.
What nonsense! Balloons don't have their own country.
Yes, they do. It's just beyond the clouds. Look, Jessica, your balloon wants to go too.
Jessica's yellow balloon tugged and pulled on its string.
No, it doesn't. And even if it did, I wouldn't let it.
But think about all the fun you had with your balloon today.
Jessica thought for a moment. With her yellow balloon, she had swung in a tire swing, hung upside down, run through the trees, made sand castles, and even slid down a slide in the park. What fun she had had with her balloon.
Let it go to Balloonia, where balloons live forever. If you don't, it will lose its air and shrivel up to nothing.
So what? I don't care. That's just what happens to balloons.
You'll be sorry, Jessica. Good night.
And Matthew went to sleep.
Matthew is trying to make me feel bad. There is no Balloonia.
Jessica pulled on the string of her yellow balloon and got very cross with it.
If there is, take me there, or else.
Just then, strange things started to happen. Lights and colors rippled about the room.
What's happening? I feel so light, so airy, so strange. My arms have turned into balloons. My legs have turned into balloons. I'm not a girl anymore. I'm a balloon.
Jessica rose into the air and floated around the room. Her yellow balloon tugged at her and pulled her towards the open window.
Goodbye, Matthew. I'm floating away.
Out of the window and into the night she flew, pulled and guided by the yellow balloon. They rose beyond the treetops and into the mist and stars above.
Kidnapped by a balloon.
After a few moments, Jessica saw a rainbow of colors in the distance.
I suppose Balloonia is just beyond those clouds. Oh my, there is a Balloonia, and everything is made of balloons.
It was unbelievable, but true. Everything was made of beautiful, brightly colored balloons. There were balloon houses and balloon cars, balloon trees and balloon horses and cats and dogs, and even balloon people who laughed and waved at Jessica.
We like it here. Like it here.
We like it here.
We like it here.
And just imagine, I used to cry when my balloon flew away. Say, what do you do in Balloonia anyway?
Come on, I'll show you.
Whispered the yellow balloon as he whisked Jessica away through the air to a fantastic balloon park. Jessica and the yellow balloon rode the balloon Ferris wheel and the balloon merry-go-round and soared on a balloon roller coaster. Then off they flew to a balloon zoo where balloon monkeys and elephants, giraffes and camels played. And after that, Jessica and the yellow balloon sailed in a balloon lake where balloon whales and fish splashed at the side of their boat.
The balloon sun is setting. It's time for you to go.
I don't want to. It's fun here. I've decided to stay and become queen of Balloonia.
You must go, or you'll lose your air. That's what happens to children who try and stay in Balloonia.
I don't believe it.
Look, you're starting to shrivel already.
Shrivel? Oh, no. Help!
Jessica soared through the mist and stars and clouds. Across the night sky she flew, down, down, through her bedroom window and into her bed. Kerplunk! Matthew woke up with a start.
Jessica, are you all right?
I think so.
Where is your balloon?
In Balloonia, Matthew. Where else?
Magic Shoelaces by Audrey Wood.
One morning, just after breakfast, Jessica and her little brother Matthew were hurrying about the house. Matthew was combing his hair, and Jessica, with her new blue dress and big blue hair ribbon, was busy cleaning up.
Matthew! Matthew, Mother said you were going to be late for play school. My friends are coming over and I need to mop this floor. How many times do I have to tell you? Hurry up and tie those shoes.
I just did, Jessica. They keep coming untied.
Well, tie them again. Mother always says practice makes perfect.
And she marched off like a soldier with her mop over her shoulder, leaving Matthew alone. He knelt down to tie his shoes once again.
Right over left, left over right. Make a loop, circle a loop, under the bridge, pull. There. That should do it. Goodbye, sister. See you later.
No sooner had Matthew walked out the front door when, whoosh, kabump, he tripped over his shoelaces and tumbled down the front steps.
Oh, no! My shoelaces did it again.
Remember what Mother says. Those who do not keep their laces tied will fall down.
These shoelaces are nothing but trouble.
Matthew tied his shoes once again. He picked himself up and strolled off down the street, proudly whistling a tune he had just made up. As he turned the corner on his block, he walked past a group of older kids.
Hey, guys, take a look at that kid's laces. Oh, no, not again. What are those worms doing crawling out of your shoes?
Can't keep your laces tied, ha, ha, ha.
I'm sick and tired of lacing and tying. I don't need shoelaces. I'll just take them out. Ah, that's better.
Swinging his shoelaces from his hands, Matthew walked on down the street, past a garden filled with yellow flowers and buzzing bees.
Now what's happening?
But without laces, his shoes were so loose that Matthew walked right out of them.
I'll have to carry them.
He took off his loose shoes and socks and held them in his hands. Then he walked on barefoot. But, as luck would have it, just as Matthew passed the garden, he stepped on a bee.
Ouch! My poor foot! Why do shoelaces have to be so much trouble?
Matthew held his foot. Then he sat and thought for a moment.
I wish shoelaces would not always come untied.
Suddenly, in a sparkle of purple light and smoke, a magic man appeared beside Matthew. He wore a tall hat and a big bow tie covered with stars. On each shoulder fluttered a white dove. There was one white rabbit at his feet, and another that peeked out from under his hat as the man danced a little jig. In one hand, he carried a magic wand, and in the other, he held dozens of sparkling colored shoelaces.
Magic shoelaces! Step right up! Magic shoelaces! No more practice makes perfect. Guaranteed not to come untied. Hello there, Sonny. Step right up for magic shoelaces.
I don't have any money, sir.
You can't buy them, only swap. Mine for yours. Now hop, hop, hop. Go ahead and choose red, yellow, or blue. Satisfaction guaranteed.
My shoelaces for yours? It's a deal, mister.
Matthew and the magic man traded laces, and with that, the magic man, his rabbits, and his doves disappeared. Matthew knelt once again to lace and tie his shoes.
In and out, tie them tight. Magic laces stay on right.
And then off he marched with his beautiful new magic laces.
These laces really are magic. I have walked all the way to play school, and they haven't come undone. Today, children, we will learn to swim. But first, you must take off your shoes and put them in the boxes.
All the children quickly slipped off their shoes. That is, all except Matthew.
I can't get these magic shoelaces untied. Oh, they won't come off. Oh, whew. Am I hot? The pool looks so good and cool. Oh, I just have to. I've got to go swimming!
Matthew jumped into the water with both shoes on. Just then, the teacher leaned over the side of the pool and spoke sharply to Matthew.
Young man, get out this instant. Shoes are not allowed in the pool. No more swimming for you today. Go straight home.
With his heavy, wet shoes, Matthew trudged slowly home. Squash, squish, squoosh, flump, splash, splosh, squash, sploosh, squish. Inside the house, Jessica and her two girlfriends were busy playing cards and sipping make-believe tea in the playroom that she had cleaned and mopped that morning. Matthew walked in with muddy footprints trailing behind him.
Jessica, I'm home.
For heaven's sake, how dare you walk on my nice clean floor with all that mud? Go out and take those shoes off and don't come back in here until you do.
My shoelaces won't come untied.
That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Laces always come untied.
These aren't just any old laces. I got them from a magic man. They are magic. Look, scissors won't cut them. Rocks won't smash them. These laces won't break.
Jessica thought for a moment.
I've always wanted magic laces. I bet Matthew knows a magic way to get them off. He just doesn't want to. Matthew, dear, if you get those laces undone, I will buy them from you. And I'll even throw in my nice white shoelaces. What a bargain.
She just doesn't understand. The magic man said you cannot buy them. Only swap.
Suddenly, there was a flash of sparkling purple light and smoke. Jessica was so surprised that her big blue hair ribbon flew off. After a moment, she looked down to discover that she was now wearing Matthew's beautiful magic laces, and Matthew was wearing her old shoelaces.
Boy, what a dumb deal you made, Matthew. My ugly old laces for your magic ones.
These shoelaces may not be magic, Jessica, but with practice, they'll be perfect.